Good evening and welcome to the regular City Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, December 17th, 2024, and it's 7 p.m. Regular meetings are generally held on the first and third Tuesday of each month in City Council chambers here at City Hall. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Jennings? Here. Councilmember Winstead?
Present.
Councilmember Otto?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Johns?
Here.
Mayor Genoway?
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We will begin tonight's meeting as we begin every meeting with an acknowledgement of God and country. We will begin with an invocation and a pledge. To lead us in the invocation tonight is James Wenger of Grace Church, and he will provide the invocation, followed by Boy Scout Troop 772 and Pack 705 to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise.
Father in heaven, it is with great joy and gratitude that we come before you this evening, acknowledging that you are a glorious and a gracious God, one who is full of love and mercy and kindness, and in whom there is forgiveness for all of our sins. I thank you for this wonderful city we get to call home and ask for your blessing upon it and upon all who live here. Please keep our city safe and beautiful and prosperous. I ask that you would please prosper and protect our families. I pray for our marriages, that those who are married would enjoy happy, healthy, and fruitful marriages. I pray for our children, from the youngest of them to those in their teen years, asking that you would watch over them, that you would guide them, that you would protect them through these difficult and confusing times. I ask that you would help them to know darkness from light and truth from error, and that for all of their days they would choose that which is good. I also pray for their parents in the wonderful but oftentimes difficult task of parenting, that you would fill them with wisdom and grant them the patience and strength and self-control that is needed in order to raise our children in a way that is best. Father, I also want to pray for all of those who will be gathering together with family and friends throughout the holiday season. I ask that you would protect them in their travels, that you would bless them in their time together. I do pray that we all would make the most of every moment we have together with those we love, knowing that our days are numbered. I ask that you would be especially near to those who are hurting or struggling during these holidays. We know that even as many will be gathering and celebrating together this season, for some, the holidays are a particularly difficult time, as feelings of loneliness and loss are often amplified for them. So, Father, please be near to them, bring comfort and peace to them, and out of your abundant kindness, please bring some special, unexpected blessing to them during this time. And lastly, Father, I pray for our mayor and city council. I thank you for them, and I ask that you would bless them and bless their work. Grant them much wisdom in their stewardship, much grace in their decision-making, that all they do would be in the best interest of this city and would benefit most those who make this city their home. And so once again, Father, I thank you for this beautiful city. I thank you for this evening. Thank you for all the blessings you give. In your name I pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. Cub Scout Pack 705, Color Guard, advance. Please place your hand over your heart. Those in uniform and veterans, salute. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Audience, you may be seated.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We will meet you down in the well. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming to our meeting tonight and leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Why don't we go down and you can introduce yourself, say your name, your grade, what school you go to, and maybe your most exciting, the thing you're most excited about with this upcoming Christmas break.
My name is Elliot Tuppy. I am in 4th grade. I am homeschooled, and a lot of stuff I'm excited for.
A lot of stuff. I love it. Me too.
My name is Nolan. I'm in 4th grade. I go to Clarence Lobo Elementary, and the most thing I'm excited about for Christmas break is to sleep in.
I am Jackson Nunez. I go to George White Elementary School. I am in 4th grade, and I'm most excited about sleeping in.
My name is Evan Tuppy. I am in 11th grade. I am homeschooled, and I'm most excited about being done with finals.
My name is Dallas Nunez. I'm in 4th grade. I go to George White Elementary School, and I'm most excited about going to Mexico. Hello, my name is Brandon Rudolph. I am in 5th grade, and I go to Fairmont Schools. And my favorite, and I'm looking forward to spending time with my family.
Hi, I'm Tom Sales. I'm the incoming Scoutmaster for Troop 772.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica Minter. I am the den leader for the AOL Arrow of Light and the Weeblo dens at PAC 705.
Steve Minter, Cub Master, PAC 705, and I owe most of it to her.
All right, well, let's give them a round of applause. And let's get in for a photo real quick. If we can all, here, let's back up a little bit.
Who's taking the photo? Make sure the flags aren't blocking.
Okay. All right, Evan, are you going to dismiss us?
Yes. Color guard dismissed.
All right, thanks so much, guys. All right, this evening we have one presentation. The presentation is a proclamation commending Commander Lieutenant Colonel Wagner and Sergeant Major Cleveland of the 1st Battalion, 4th Marines. If you could both come on up. In fact, let's get the whole Military Support Committee to come on up. All right, gentlemen. Well, first of all, thank you so much for your service to our nation. We have this proclamation here today, and I'll read the proclamation. Whereas the 1st Battalion, 4th Marine Regiment will be deactivated on January 10th, 2025, and the battalion has been a City of Laguna Niguel adopted military unit since February 2006. We've enjoyed a relationship with your unit for about 18 years, and it's provided a wonderful benefit to our city. During this period, the battalion was deployed to war zones and contingency areas in the Middle East, along with numerous Marine Expeditionary Unit deployments in the Western Pacific. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Wagner assumed command of the 1st Battalion, 4th Marine Regiment in March of 2024, and the battalion was assigned to the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit and deployed to Okinawa and the Western Pacific for contingency and training. While deployed and under Lieutenant Colonel Wagner's leadership, the battalion worked closely with military units from other nations and was commended by the Marine Expeditionary Unit commanding officer. Whereas the 1st Battalion, 4th Marines, have been a strong supporter of the City of Laguna Niguel and the city's Military Support Committee, consistently participating in the annual holiday parades, Sea Country Festival, car wash fundraisers, committee meetings, and numerous tours of Camp Pendleton. Lieutenant Colonel Wagner is commended for continuing this relationship, demonstrating strong leadership and a commitment to service and love of country. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Laguna Niguel City Council does hereby commend the 1st Battalion, 4th Marines, and Commanding Officer Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Wagner for their commitment and dedicated service to the Marine Corps and the nation. And we, the City Council, Military Support Committee, and citizens of Laguna Niguel, extend our best wishes to you and your Marines in their future endeavors. The City of Laguna Niguel will always cherish our longstanding relationship with the 1st Battalion, 4th Marines. Thank you so much. Would you like to say a few words?
Absolutely, sir. Mayor, council members, ladies and gentlemen, it's been talking with our DRC, Mrs. Sabrina King, earlier today, and she put it on my radar. I asked her how long the relationship has been going on, and she had said 18 years. And I thought to myself, that's a career in the Marine Corps where we're currently at. That's 18 years of working with families. This year, there were at least 35 families that benefited from the support that the city has provided, getting toys to children who come from families of need. That's 18 years of, just like this past weekend, assisting us with our Marine Corps birthday ball, helping us honor the legacy of those who came before us and honoring our traditions. And that's 18 years of reaffirming a relationship with the city of Laguna Niguel, allowing us to have a connection to our local community. So, Mayor, thank you very much. Council members, thank you very much. Mr. McGrath, Mr. Tuma, and Mrs. Caldwell, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. The pleasure is all mine on this end, I assure you. So we look forward to any interaction that we can have with you all again in the future, and we're still a part of the 1st Marine Regiment, so we will absolutely see each other again after this evening. Thank you.
Terrific. Great.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayor. Appreciate it. Hey, sir, thank you.
Yeah, sir, words can never describe how much you mean to the unit. Words can never describe how much you mean to the unit, to the young Marines, especially as they're brought from all over the country here. Sometimes committees like this serve as like a second family. So as a token of our appreciation, Mrs. King gave us this flag toward the beginning of the deployment. Everywhere that the Marines traveled throughout the deployment, it was taken with them, and it has been signed by each member of the battalion landing team. Hopefully it's upside down. So wherever y'all see fit to put it within your facility, I think it'll look nice. It's just a little piece of us to remain with you, sir.
We will hang this with pride in our city hall for all citizens to see the relationship that we have had with your unit for the last 18 years. Thank you so much. This is incredible. All right, let's get some photos.
Can you see me? There you go.
All right, thank you all so much. That's incredible. All right, thank you, sir. We will. Okay. All right. All right, that concludes our public presentations for the evening. We will now move into public comment. Any person wishing to address the City Council is respectfully asked to complete and present a gold-colored request to speak form. These forms are available at the entrance of council chambers. Please be aware that the time limit will be 3 minutes for each person to speak. This is a time for members of the public to share comments with the City Council. The Brown Act does not allow City Council to respond to speakers at the meeting. However, City staff will follow up and respond to your questions as needed. Speakers will be called in order from the request to speak forms. To allow equal time for speakers, minutes may not be given to another speaker. You may have another person read your written statement. City Clerk Assistant, you just handed me a stack of public comment forms. Are there any others?
No, Mayor.
All right. First individual to speak is Jennifer Barb.
Good evening. I'm a 10-year resident homeowner with 2 young kids, and I should be home with them enjoying our family's Christmas traditions. But instead, I feel the need to come here and tonight and voice my disappointment in how the council conducted themselves at the last meeting. Council broke from tradition and chose not to appoint Mayor Pro Tem Stephanie Otto to be our next mayor. Council ignored the voice of the Laguna Niguel voters and appeared to put their own interests and partisan preferences over what was best for our community. This came as quite a surprise to me, as just a mere 20 months ago, council members Otto, Jennings, and Genoway worked collaboratively in the community's best interest to support our city manager and weed out a bad apple on the city council. It was a great display of true bipartisanship. And despite this turbulent time for our city, I remember feeling a sense of comfort, optimism, and an all-around great first impression of Ray Genoway when he spoke these words back in April 2023 during the nominations for Mayor Pro Tem, and I quote, "So there's really 2 eligible people for this position, myself and council member Stephanie Otto. We have served this same number of days on this council. No one is more senior than the other. However, fair and square, Miss Otto received more votes than I did in the last election. So I think that is a reasonable tiebreaker in this situation. So I will go ahead and nominate Councilmember Stephanie Otto to be our new Mayor Pro Tem." End quote. Otto received 10,295 votes, nearly 10% more than Genoway in the 2022 election. Councilmember Jennings, in one of your final flexes as mayor, you chose this moment to go against precedent and against the voters' wishes by opening up nominations to personally nominate Genoway for mayor. Makes me question what your own motivations were, as it clearly wasn't what the voters wanted or expected from you in your leadership position. And then Mayor Genoway, what happened to fairness and caring about the voice of the voters of Laguna Niguel? Did you think 10,000 of us wouldn't notice? Sure, the holiday season is a busy time for our families. We trusted you. You broke one of your first promises to us. You personally nominated Otto as pro tem, as you clearly felt she represented the voters and their values back in April 2023. There hasn't been a real election since, so the voters' voices should have been heavily considered in this decision. Plus, you had a clear path to mayor in the subsequent year, and I would have likely supported you. It appears to me that Mayor Genoway sacrificed his integrity to fast-track himself to be the mayor. He clearly is more concerned about his own political trajectory than what's best for the voters of Laguna Niguel. I listened to his acceptance speech about how important it is to represent the Laguna Niguel voters and their values. As if Otto doesn't? What does he think are our values? Up until last minute, I thought we shared the same values. The values this council displayed on December 3rd are not aligned with the values of the voters here in Laguna Niguel.
Thank you for being here tonight. The next speaker is Susan Aronson.
My name is Susan Aronson. I'm here to read a letter from Courtney Fielder, who is unable to attend the meeting tonight. I'm also a resident of Laguna Niguel. This is her letter. My name is Courtney Fielder, and I've been a proud resident of Laguna Niguel for over 24 years. While I was unable to attend the December 3rd council meeting, I did send a letter to the council members expressing my support for Stephanie Otto. I would like to reiterate part of that letter as part of this public comment. Quote, Stephanie embodies the qualities of an exceptional leader. She is intelligent, articulate, and unwavering in her commitment to the citizens of Laguna Niguel. What sets her apart is her approach to challenges, not as problems, but as opportunities to find solutions. Her determination to achieve positive outcomes is truly inspiring, and her relentless pursuit of what is best for our community speaks volumes about her character and work ethic, end quote. Courtney continues in her letter to you tonight. After watching the December 3rd meeting on YouTube, I was appalled. The treatment Stephanie received was not only unjustified, but deeply disheartening. The falsehoods spoken during the meeting were both uncalled for and inappropriate. Equally troubling was the lack of support from anyone on this dais. As an observer, it was difficult not to think the entire episode was orchestrated. This kind of political behavior has no place in Laguna Niguel. Our community is composed of residents from diverse backgrounds, ideologies, and political affiliations. Historically, we have risen above divisive politics, coming together through strong leadership and volunteerism to maintain Laguna Niguel as a wonderful place to live and to raise families. Looking forward, we need to carefully and thoughtfully chart a course for the future. That cannot be achieved through cliches or petty politics, but rather through recognizing and respecting the contributions of all Laguna Niguel residents. Stephanie Otto exemplifies that spirit. Her values are my values, as well as many others in the community. She is a tireless advocate for the community and has consistently demonstrated professionalism, dedication, and hard work on behalf of Laguna Niguel. She deserves respect, and she certainly deserves to be treated with professionalism in this chamber. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Courtney Fielder. I endorse each and every one of the statements in Ms. Fielder's letter to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. The next speaker is Melissa Pearl.
Good evening, respected electeds and guests. My name is Melissa Pearl. I was 23 years younger and pregnant with our first daughter when my husband and I moved into Laguna Niguel. What an idyllic community in which to raise a family, right? So much gratitude for the friendships we've made and the volunteer opportunities in which we've engaged. Throughout these experiences, it's heartwarming to see that while my friends, acquaintances, colleagues, and I all hail from different backgrounds and embrace a multitude of ideologies, our values are congruent, and together we create goodness. PTA, Moms Club, National Charity League, soccer, Turbo Kick, you name it. Not separated by parties, we use differences to collaborate. Mayor Genoway, a couple of years back, you and I discussed the poor behavior of folks balking at parties' affiliations. I'm pretty sure you remember when we talked about that. We agreed that such rudeness had no place in a nonpartisan situation such as City Council. What former Mayor Pro Tem Otto was subjected to during the last council meeting wasn't just rude, it was abhorrent and quite frankly cruel. The speakers who slammed her and hurled a biased slew of untruths, being voted out by her peers seemingly based solely on her political affiliation, how she maintained poise and composure during this unsubstantiated attack, I will never know. I probably would have cried like a baby. Councilmember Otto loves Laguna Niguel and furthering its safety, security, and prosperity. She is the true definition of a public servant, serving her community with boundless integrity, strength, kindness, fairness, honesty, empathy, work ethic, basically everything I've hoped to instill in my own daughters. She checks her ego at the door, she rolls up her sleeve, addresses problems, develops and executes solutions, and does whatever it takes to get the job done. I've worked with her directly. The woman is a force driven by her desire to help create betterment for all and to make a difference, even when no one is watching. Without disrespect to the abilities of those currently in office, genuinely, what else could you want from a mayor? If the collective you were not in support of Mrs. Otto in the role, why was she appointed Mayor Pro Tem? And if there were actually some sort of compelling reason for you to doubt her proficiency, though I literally cannot imagine what that would be, would it not have been appropriate to address that in a private setting? Is political agenda usurping the notion of public service? In this nonpartisan position, how does that even play? Kindness matters, Integrity matters. Work ethic matters. Stephanie matters.
Thank you, Ms. Pearl. Thank you for being here tonight. The next speaker is Ivana Doran.
Good evening. My name is Ivana Doran, and I've been a resident of Laguna Niguel for a little over 6 years now. My husband and I purchased a home in Marina Hills a couple of years ago and are thrilled to have settled down in the city to raise our family. My daughter is semi-patiently waiting right there. While I'm immensely grateful to live here, I also feel it's important that I speak my mind and share what's important to me and what I value most about this community. I couldn't attend the last council meeting in person, though I really wanted to, but I was recovering from the flu, so I watched it online. I was deeply disappointed in what I saw. I heard a lot of talk about what each of you value. It's safe to say we hold a lot of values in common. We love this city, we're raising our families here, we have a lot of values in common. But I also know that I have values that many of you don't share, and that's okay. Diversity makes us stronger, right? What I would like to ask of you is that you stay true to your word and represent all of Laguna Niguel, not just a portion of it. And when you talk about the importance of tact and tradition for this council, you mean it and you apply it on each and every occasion and in a nonpartisan way. And I didn't see that last council meeting. I want to thank Stephanie Otto for taking the time to talk to me, to hear about my values, and to do the same for so many others in the community. I see how involved you are. I see you volunteering and helping those less privileged. I see you doing all of it while upholding what we all want to see for Laguna Niguel, maintaining a balanced budget, no tax increases, no debts, and finding sensible solutions for us. I appreciate your honesty, your authenticity, and I'm proud to talk to my daughter about the things that you do. I wish you could have had the opportunity to be mayor, as tradition would have supported last council meeting. We can't turn back time. My goal is to focus on the collective good for our community, remember our common values, be fair and be kind, even when it's tough or unpopular. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming tonight. And our final speaker is Laura Bennett.
Good evening. So I watched last week's council meeting on YouTube, and I heard some of my fellow citizens speaking of the current group of folks on the dais as representing the majority of Laguna Niguel citizens. And I accept that the majority of you may belong to a more conservative party or affiliation or thought, but if you run unopposed, are you really able to call that a victory and be able to call yourself speaking for the majority of folks in your district? It could be considered to be a little bit more or little more than a mutual admiration society. So according to the all-knowing Wikipedia, which, by the way, you guys need to update with your new names, in 1992, the population voted just under 29% for a liberal on a liberal ticket, with a little over 45% for a more conservative ticket, presidentially, by the way. In 2008, that was 46.13% more liberal bend to a 52% conservative vote. In 2020, it was 51.41% of a more liberal ticket to a conservative ticket. And of course, we know the election in 2024 did lean a bit more conservative. But statistically, the opposite is true, that you are not necessarily speaking for the majority of how people have thought historically or are migrating toward. In fact, overwhelmingly, it would seem to me that the citizenry of Laguna Niguel have clearly shown that their desire is to move to a more progressive, liberal, and inclusive city. It seems to me that what scares folks is wanting to hold on to a tradition except when it suits you. So the tradition of the mayor pro tem being the traditional successor to the mayor no longer suited your agenda, an outdated conservative singular thought. So finally, the idea that the public official, any public official, is able to just nominate their successor flies in the face of all that's, to me, ethical. For anyone who has bid on a public contract, overseen a public project, or has had to fill out a Form 700, it seems that they would know a conflict of interest when they see it.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, are there any more requests to speak forms?
There are none.
All right, thank you very much. Public comment is now closed. We will move on to our consent calendar. Are there any items to be pulled from the consent calendar for questions or discussion by the council? Seeing none, is there a motion? Motion. The motion carries unanimously. The consent calendar is adopted. We will now move on to our public hearing item. Our public hearing item this evening is to consider zoning amendment ZCA 24-1001 and zoning code amendment ZCA 24-1002 to address state mandates. Community Development Director Orduña, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor Genoway and Council. The presentation for this item will be provided by Senior Planner Erica Race.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. 1 year ago, in December 2023, the City Council adopted the housing element for the time period between 2021 and 2029. Approximately 2 months later, in February 2024, the State Housing and Community Development Department, or HCD, found that the city's adopted housing element was in substantial compliance with state housing law. HCD's determination, however, is subject to the timely and effective implementation of the housing element programs and annual alignment with state mandates. Last month, on November 12th, the Planning Commission recommended approval to the City Council of the 2 items you are considering this evening, consistent with the commitment to implement housing element programs and to align with current state mandates. In August of 2024, HCD notified the city about its ADU and JDU ordinance, last amended June 2023. In this letter, they provided additional direction to achieve full compliance with state law. Additionally, in September 2024, Governor Newsom signed 3 new ADU bills, which will take effect on January 1st, 2025. Attachment B of the staff report is a red line indicating the proposed revisions of the city's current ADU and JDU ordinance in response to both HCD's comment letter and the 3 new laws. Housing Element Action 3.2 states, the city will evaluate and amend the gateway-specific plan to mandate that any public benefit to achieve a density of higher than 50 dwelling units per acre shall include a provision of affordable housing. Attachment D of your staff report outlines these revisions to pages 3-10, 311, 46, 420, and 422 of the gateway-specific plan. These revisions, as recommended by the Planning Commission, state that in order for developers to build at densities exceeding 50 dwelling units per acre, their developments must include affordable housing of either 5% very low income or 10% low income. This is also consistent with the city's past practice when negotiating public benefits in previous gateway developments. In conclusion, staff recommends that you first find that the adoption of Zoning Code Amendment ZCA 24-1001 and Zoning Code Amendment ZCA 24-1002 are both exempt from CEQA. We next ask that you introduce the corresponding ordinance numbers 2024-232 and ordinance number 2024-233. Direct that the proposed ordinances be placed on the agenda for January 21st, 2025, and finally adopt the ordinances at that meeting. And with that, that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Race. Do any of the council members have questions on this item? All right, we will open the public hearing. Madam Clerk, are there any forms to speak?
No, Mayor.
There are no forms to speak. We will close the public hearing. Is there any discussion from council? Okay. Well, I'll just say these are requirements from the state. As I read through the amendments to our zoning code, I had a lot of questions, and then I looked at the minutes from our planning commission, and they seemed to have the same exact questions, which were all answered by staff. That was a very thorough staff report and minutes from that planning commission meeting, so I thank you for doing that. That saved me a lot of time. And it's clear that these are amendments that are they're required by the state, and non-compliance with the state, the repercussions are severe. So with that being said, I'm seeing nobody else wants to speak. I will move the staff recommendation, and if you'll bear with me for just a moment, there's a long statement I am required to read with this. 1, find that adoption of the zoning code amendment ZCA 24-1001 and zoning code amendment ZCA 24-1002 are exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act because they are both an administrative activity that will not result in direct or reasonably foreseeable indirect physical change to the environment and thus is not a project under state CEQA guidelines section 15378. Additionally, even if adoption of ZCA 24-1001 and ZCA 24-1002 did qualify as a project under CEQA, find that it is exempt pursuant to section 15061B3, which provides that a project is exempt where it can be seen with certainty that there is no possibility that the activity in question may have a significant effect on the environment. And moreover, zoning code amendment ZCA 24-1001 is statutorily exempt from CEQA under Public Resources Code section 21080.17. 2, waive full reading, make any amendments to, and introduce ordinance number 2024-232 by title. Ordinance number 2024-232, an ordinance of the City of Laguna Niguel, California, adopting zoning code amendment ZCA 24-1001, amending regulations pertaining to the accessory dwelling units and junior accessory dwelling units to conform with revisions to state law, and determining the action to be exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act under state CEQA guidelines section 15060C2, 15060C3, 15061B3, and Public Resources Code section 21080.17. 3, waive full reading, make any amendments to, and introduce ordinance number 2024-233 by title. Ordinance number 2024-233, an ordinance of the City of Laguna Niguel, California, adopting zoning code amendment ZCA 24-1002, amending various sections of the Gateway Specific Plan to address several state mandates and determining the action to be exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act under state CEQA guidelines sections 15060C2, 15060C3, and 15061B3. 4, direct that the ordinances with any changes be placed on the agenda for January 21st, 2025 City Council meeting and adopt the ordinances at that meeting. Can I get a second? All right, members, please vote. The motion is adopted unanimously. Thank you. This concludes our public hearing item. We will now move on to City Council, City Manager, and Department reports. Mrs. Jennings.
Thank you. I want to give a huge shout out to our Parks and Rec team and all of our city staff for an incredible tree lighting ceremony and a wonderful parade. We had such a great time. Thank you for everybody's hard work and police services and everybody that was out there and being in the parade. So thank you for that. And I just wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and praying for a very blessed New Year for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Winstead.
All right. Thank you, Mayor Genoway. I want to reiterate my council members' comments. I'm very grateful for our staff, for our volunteers who made our annual holiday parade possible. I also want to thank everybody who participated in the Holiday Lights Decorating Contest. There are lots of entries. Congratulations to the winners. And a map of the winning houses are posted on the city's website. Want to remind everybody to shop local. The Laguna Niguel Chamber of Commerce is hosting a raffle. You download an app, enter your receipts, and you can enter to win drawings for gift cards. So please shop local this holiday season. Also, I'm blessed to have the opportunity to spend the next couple of weeks, since we're not going to be meeting for council meetings until the next year, with my ethnically diverse family and friends. I am going to be enjoying and sharing in the Christian, Jewish, and Persian traditions. I hope everyone else is able to enjoy the same and enjoy your own family traditions in your own way. Have a healthy and happy New Year's. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Otto.
Thank you. I got to get used to the microphone being on the other side. I'm not used to that. I just have a few updates. The first bill of the new year is regarding insurance, AB 1. So I'll be tracking this bill in the Assembly and provide updates as necessary. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about an article that was recently in the Orange County Register. We had a win for sober living homes. It's a precedent-setting ruling for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. The Orange County Register reporter Terry Sforza said it's a victory for Costa Mesa that could have far-reaching implications in Southern California and throughout the nation as communities struggle with proliferating sober living homes. And a quote from our Orange County Supervisor Katrina Foley, who was instrumental in fighting these when she was on the Costa Mesa City Council, said, "The message for the Ninth Circuit is clear. Local governments have the right to regulate recovery residents. Unscrupulous sober living home operators adversely impact our communities, pose risks for those seeking care, and reduce access to real housing options for residents in need." I could not have said it better. I want to thank the city of Costa Mesa. They spent millions of dollars on this lawsuit, and they're all going to be for the benefit of all of our residents. So last week, I was honored to be appointed as the chair of the Orange County Housing and Community Development Commission. I serve as the Orange County District 5 representative. Also attended Brax Jewelry opening. Laguna Niguel residents opened a business in Laguna Niguel, and I want to welcome them. And I want to thank the staff and the volunteers for all their work on the holiday parade. It was a fun day. It was a great time. I had a guest, a student guest with me, and every holiday is better with children, right? If you don't have them, grab some. It was fun to be with him on the car, so it was really great. So changing gears, our community is mourning Cole Constantino, a former Laguna Niguel resident and student at St. Anne's School. He graduated from Mater Dei High School. His life was tragically cut short as a result of an automobile accident. Cole was a dedicated student at Auburn University, where his professors and peers admired his intellectual curiosity and desire to excel. He had a bright personality who brought love, kindness, and encouragement to those around him. On behalf of my family, I wish condolences to the Constantino family and the entire St. Anne's School community. On a happier note, congratulations to lifelong Laguna Niguel resident Sam Rafizad, who went to DC, I saw him last week, to interview for the Schofield Peace Fellowship. And out of 150 applicants, he was selected to receive the fellowship, lifelong Laguna Niguel resident. So the Schofield Peace Fellowship focuses on arms control, non-proliferation, conflict prevention and resolution, international security issues. So many Scoville Fellows go on to have prominent positions in the peace and security work with the federal government. So finally, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. I wish you all joy and peace in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem Johns.
Thank you. This time of year, we're all out celebrating and attending lots of fun functions throughout the city and the area. And all of us up here have been doing that. So I just want to take a moment to thank our staff for the Christmas tree lighting, the reindeers. It was an amazing day here for that. That was several weeks ago. And then obviously for our, I want to thank the Park and Recreation as well as the entire staff and police and fire for the parade. That was a remarkable job. It was a really fun day, and we had a few people slip and fall, or at least one of our volunteers, but he seems to be doing fine. But the parade was fantastic, and I really, Director Harmon, I want to thank you and your staff and the entire city staff for that. This time of year, I hope we take time to spend it with our family and friends, and think and be thankful for what we have and what we get to enjoy every single day. So please take time to be with your family and friends during this holiday season, however you practice it. And I'll finally end with just simply saying thank you to Councilmember Kelly Jennings for her leadership over the last almost 2 years as our mayor. It was a privilege working with you, and I'm looking forward to the next 4 with you. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And I just want to first tell you about a few businesses that I had the pleasure of attending their opening over the last few weeks. It's always an amazing statement when a business comes into Laguna Niguel and they can raise their sign and do business here in Laguna Niguel, the Shop Laguna Niguel and Dine Laguna Niguel. I attended the ribbon cutting for the brand new, revamped Knowles Restaurant over on here over on Pacific Park and I'm sorry, Pacific Island and Alicia. And if you haven't been in there, it's different. New owners came down from a restaurant that is very well known and popular in Newport Beach. They actually bought the store next to Knowles. That was a vacuum store, knocked down the wall, made an entire dance space. They have live music there 5 nights a week. They've got this really cool back room that has kind of a speakeasy vibe to it. So if you haven't been in there recently, go check it out. Give it another chance. We got new owners there. And I also had the privilege of attending the grand opening of Mercedes-Benz Laguna Niguel. The new owner of that place was so gracious in allowing us to use so many of their cars for our parade, their convertibles, and he's been a great partner to the community. So I wish them well in their revamped business. Parks and Rec, you guys have just been doing an amazing job. So many great events. We had a real reindeer here at City Hall, first time ever. It was a big hit with all the kids and adults too. But you guys have been doing a really great job with our community events. I want to give a special shout out to the Tuma family. They're always at the parade. They're always at our community events. It's a whole family operation with them volunteering in our city. And I know they do this out of love every year. And so I just wanted to give a special recognition to Dave Tuma and his family. And I want to give gratitude to all of our city staff as we enter the end of this year. We've had an incredible year. We've done so many great things for this community. And I know it's going to be an even better 2025, but as we look back on the accomplishments we've had this year, as always, a balanced budget with no added taxes. When you look at so many other cities across the county, from Seal Beach down to San Clemente, putting sales tax increases on the ballot. You also, we also have, sorry, I was just distracted by somebody walking out the window over there with a hoodie. Might want to check that out. Thank you. We implemented a new e-bike safety ordinance, which for South County was first of its kind, and many other cities have passed their own iterations of what we did here in Laguna Niguel. We passed a new ordinance to clean up campaign signage. You know, that time of year, every other year, when there's just so many campaign signs around. Now, granted, we had less candidates on the full ballot this year, but I think it's safe to say our town looked much more beautiful that time of year than it has in previous years. And so we've done a lot here in Laguna Niguel, and I know 2025 is going to be incredible. So I just want to thank all of the city staff at every level, our executive staff on down, because we can't do it without you. And so thank you all very much, and have a very Merry Christmas. City Manager Letourneau.
Thank you, Mayor. We have one report this evening. It's our Police Services Quarterly Report, which will be provided by Chief Flores.
Thank you, and good evening, Mayor Genoway, City Council, City staff, and members of the Laguna Niguel community. Tonight, I'll be presenting the Laguna Niguel Police Services Fall Quarter Report. First, let's start off with some recent training police services members attended or participated in this quarter. On October 17th, both police services and city staff had the opportunity to take part in the Great Shakeout Drill, which focuses on earthquake preparedness. Police services also joined in on the countywide Alert OC regional notification testing. For those unfamiliar, Alert OC is the county's mass notification system, which sends time-sensitive information directly to recipients in the event of an emergency. So please register if you have not already. Moving on to public education and safety, police services had the opportunity to meet with numerous groups and to present and discuss on safety and topics such as fraud prevention, police canines, and general crime prevention. Some of those groups included Boy Scout Troop 734, the Home Depot Fire and Safety Kids Workshop, the Junior Civic Workshop, the On Target Better Half Club, and the Laguna Niguel Women's Club. Some exciting school education events that took place this quarter included the Community Helpers event at Mission Lutheran Preschool. Deputies conducted a meet and greet with the kids, answered questions, and presented age-appropriate safety tips. Members of the Orange County Sheriff's Department, Public Affairs and Community Engagement Division, or PACE, also visited Hidden Hills Elementary and presented on the impact of social media, as well as general internet and virtual media awareness. Now let's move on to one of Police Services' favorite annual events, Red Ribbon Week. Every year, Police Services tries to visit as many Laguna Niguel schools as possible to engage with students and remind them of the importance of living a healthy, drug-free life. This year, Police Services visited Hidden Hills Elementary, George White Elementary, Niguel Hills Middle School, and St. Anne's School. Police Services also participated in National Walk to School Day at Marion Bergeson Elementary and Hidden Hills Elementary. For those unfamiliar with this event, National Walk to School Day began in 1997 and encourages families and neighbors to walk their kids to school to raise traffic awareness, generate neighborhood connectivity, and promote general wellness. As you can see here, my deputies really enjoy the event, and no, I don't know who won the tetherball game, although I'm sure it was close. Some recent school fall events also included some Halloween festivities such as Moulton Elementary's Boo Blast 24 and Trunk or Treat events for both John Malcolm and Marion Bergeson elementary schools. Twice a year, Laguna Niguel Police Services partners with the Drug Enforcement Administration to conduct drug prescription collection from those looking to responsibly dispose of any unwanted or unused medication. This October marked our second event of the year, and as always, the Laguna Niguel community did not disappoint. Thank you all for your participation and efforts at responsibly discarding unwanted medications. Closing out this quarter, Police Services also participated in St. Timothy's Blessing of the Animals, as well as our routine and ongoing community engagement and crime prevention efforts, which included Fall Neighborhood Watch meetings, our Fall Neighborhood Watch Block Captain Dinner, certified car seat installations, and station youth visits. And now for the quarter's significant public safety resource allocations. Kicking off the 2024 holiday season, Police Services was honored to attend and provide security for the Enchanted Christmas tree lighting. As usual, it was a beautiful event, and we already look forward to next year. And finally, perhaps one of Police Services' most involved events from a safety planning standpoint, the 2024 Holiday Parade. This concludes my presentation. As always, thank you for allowing me to serve. Happy holidays to all, and to all, good night.
Thank you very much, Captain Flores. And one thing that you did not mention in your PowerPoint, which I will mention because it is public information, was reported in the news a couple weeks ago. There was an alleged violent crime, and through the quick thinking and quick action of your deputies, there was an arrest made. And I just want to thank you and your deputies for your diligence in that matter.
Thank you. They did an outstanding job.
Thank you. City Manager Letourneau, anything further?
That concludes our reports. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. The time is 7:54. We are adjourned.